right? Empress Redbird tried to put me on salary and I refused. Give it back to the children. And I'm not saying that to toot my own horn. We not doing this for self. We doing this so that y'all can take y'all power back the exact same way that me and the Empress and a whole bunch of others have had to take their power back. We have to first take back the sense of self and the power of being in self in order to know where we at and where our alliances is at. You're going to always have opposition if you're going in the right direction. That's how you know you're going the right direction. Because people that don't know you from a rock in Iraq got a whole encyclopedia written about you. And you don't even know them people. Ain't never had one conversation with them, ain't never talked to them, and they never been around them, but they know more about you than you do. They don't even know a relative of yours that know they related to you. And they got more to say about you. They not what they doing. They gonna worry about what everybody else doing, what they doing, right? So when you know, don't listen to other people. Go find out for yourself. Go find out. Go find out for yourself. Are you coming up now, Willie? Go find out what somebody about for yourself. People jump on the bandwagon too quick. They can't even play a fucking instrument. How you gonna be on the bandwagon and you can't even play an instrument? It's ridiculous. Peace, God. Can you hear me? You ain't got your mic on mute, do you? Oh, it's still buffering and say joining. Can you hear me?
First. On first.
I can hear you a little bit.
Talking to me, God?
Yeah.
I can't even see myself. Can y'all see me?
I'm just logging on to my other Facebook to see if I can see you because you're dark on my screen, but the sister was too. But I was able to see her. Can y'all see both of us in the comments? Somebody answer.
Y'all can hear me though. Y'all can't see me.
Can y'all hear them? They can't see you. Can y'all hear them?
Okay, y'all can see me. Y'all can hear me. Y'all can't see me, but y'all can hear me.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, they trying to.
They
I'm
just hear me.
gonna leave and I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna come
Okay.
back, God.
All right. Y'all can hear me, but y'all couldn't hear him, and it wasn't showing up. I was looking on my other Facebook. He wasn't showing up. See, now it said he declined, and I know he didn't decline. I'm gonna try somebody else, then I'll come back to him. Jawan Carter. And my understanding is adding Jawan Carter. Hey, Chris.
Deep. It's deep.
There is no mining company anywhere in the world that didn't force people to work in unsafe and harsh conditions. None. And the people that was running these operations in third world countries, the people that was the employees was expendable to death. That means when we get done, which we just as soon kill you and let you go home.
Somebody said, what's the deal with Big Meech? I thought he was a chief, and with the ratting and all it. What's the connection?
Read it again, Elder.
It says right here, hold on, put it on the screen for you. Right here, let me roll it back up. God dang, is that it? Okay. Hold on. Oh shit. Right here. Since I thought Big Meech was a chief, does he know he's a chief?
Right now, Big Meech is trying to get his personal affairs in order. He know he's a chief, but he don't know his influence yet. It haven't became to his awareness the influence he had teaching those young boys how to live with money and the necessity for him to continue that function. He's trying to reestablish his leadership over his clan right now. Right. Whatever he went through is now lessons for him to use in teaching further. He's not gonna stop teaching the young boys that like to be up under him how to carry themselves and conduct themselves like a man with money. But first, he had to go through the hard decision to be his own man or let another man tell him how to live his life.
Right.
And this is a classic example of how a chief gonna respond. He gonna do what he want to do, and I don't care what it got to do with you. You know, I appreciate what you did, but I'm still gonna do what I want to do. I fuck with who fuck with me.
Yeah, they trying to say that Big Meech, because I've been keeping my ears to the streets, and they just trying to say that Big Meech ran a Ponzi scam to set Kofi, whatever his name is, up with Tammy. Tammy is the one that he signed his paperwork, his legal as his fiduciary agent for his BMF and his name brand while he was in prisons. Allegedly, they saying that Big Meech set up a drug deal with Kofi, with Tammy, his fiduciary agent, being the middleman, and then the whole time she was working with the feds, the killer clowns, and that Kofi is now serving 27 years off of that particular thing that Big Meech was involved with, and it was like another one or two other guys supposedly the same thing happened to, and they saying that should Big Meech, if Big Meech is guilty of this, and they got everybody, they got the dude on the phone from jail, they got Kofi saying that Big Meech on his paperwork.
They're not saying Big Meech on their paperwork.
No, they didn't say Big Meech on it. Said
they said that lady on their paperwork.
Yeah, they didn't even say her name. They just said that she was C1, like informant, confidential informant 1. They didn't even say Tammy. So like we don't know if it was Tammy or not for sure, but that's the rumors that it was Tammy.
If you understand how the feds work,
go ahead.
Then you can see right exactly what's happening. They leveraged her, right? And they can refuse to give her a benefit and transfer the benefit, but they leveraged her. They do it all the time. They did it to Sammy the Bull in order to get John Gotti. They leveraged it.
Damn.
Right? People if you don't know how to read law, reading a lot of these cases will confuse you about who's doing what. Right? Big Meech, he his own dude, his own guy. I have never, other than that event where they saying that the lady set them up, I never heard his name involved in nothing like that.
Right.
So the feds will do it to disgrace his name. That's called hang him in effigy.
That makes sense too, though, Rod. That do make sense. Now that make a lot of sense, though.
And mind you, I'm not defending him because I don't know nothing about the case to the degree where I can properly defend him. But I can tell you who he was from the work he was doing and from where he from and the codes that go with it. But I don't know for sure that what we looking at not as, a setup, because he don't have no history of sitting on the stand.
Right.
If you're a rat, you're a rat. You're gonna sit on the stand, you're gonna tell it in the police car and at the station.
What he told to get 2 or 3 years off? I mean, like some of the stuff just don't add all the way up to me though. He did 25 years already. I mean, how you tell on somebody to still do 25? I mean, you about to get out anyway. You only got to do 20. Well, in the feds, you got to do almost 80-90% of your time. So he's about to get out anyway. So I mean, he pretty much did all of his time.
They only gave him like 20-some years, didn't he?
What I'm saying. He got a 30.
It was time for him to get out anyway. So I don't see him doing that, and there's no benefit in it. There's no benefit in that shit. And he ain't that dumb, because he was able to tell us, you know what I'm saying, about how his brother got trapped up using the phone. Yeah. He said didn't nobody catch him for flossing, or none of his guys like that. They didn't catch them with a whole bunch of dope in the car trying to get away. They laced them up off phone call conversations only.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So it just don't sound right, man. And then he took a plea agreement. And a stand-up dude gonna be a stand-up dude. If he wasn't a stand-up dude, the word gonna come out from behind that Fed joint, and they gonna be like, Big Meech a piece of shit. But until you hear them niggas in the joint tell you that, the feds will make a motherfucker look dirty. And they'll put a dude in the back of a known unmarked police car, roll the window down, and drive slow through his hood so everybody can see him.
Yeah, I just saw that happen. I know for a fact you ain't lying.
So, and then knowing the reach that he have in the community, I can go out right now in Pontiac and to any crowded event and scream BMF, and them niggas gonna throw their hands up.
Yeah.
I go to Detroit, scream BMF, them niggas gonna throw their hands up. Same with Atlanta. They love Big Meech.
Yeah.
But right now, Big Meech is rebuilding his life in order for him to perform his function properly.
But that might put a nail.
You gotta have an opportunity to rebuild.
Well, so that would be a good strategy for them to tear their brother down, to stop him from whatever else he could do by labeling him as a rat, letting him go back on the streets as a rat.
That's the worst thing you can be in the street. The worst reputation to have in the street is the reputation of being a rat. Because don't nobody want to do business with you. Nobody want to do no stick-ups with you. Don't nobody want to do no burglaries with you. You on your own. Yeah. You're an island to yourself at that point. Dudes ain't messing with you like that. Every now and then you might bump into another rat that got some heart, and y'all could do some super rat shit together. But that ain't even common.
I think they're gonna use 50 to go to squad the rest of the Big Meech whole get down. I think they're gonna use 50 because 50, man, he's suspect to be with the police. I heard a lot of stories, and then you come to my city and then you pay the police, you get the police all the money. You know what I'm saying? We don't need no police.
Go back to Rampart. You got to remember, police be off duty, moonlighting as security.
Yeah, yeah.
And who the best security to have?
Police.
I rest my case.
Hey. But then they be walking around with a bulletproof vest on.
Check this out.
Like, nigga, you better not do nothing to me. You got the cops with you, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
You remember murder was? You remember murder was the case?
Yeah, with Snoop.
Right. Remember Snoop bodyguard? That dude was shooting. He shot back. Somebody in there. Okay, now had he been a police officer and did exactly the same thing, nobody would have ever got charged.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he already know what to say in order for nobody not to get charged. Most of us get charged because we don't know what to say when the police stop us. And the best thing we can say is not a goddamn word.
Yeah. Yep.
You know? And
And
if you feel like
they
you just gotta
also
say something, just flat out tell them I don't talk to police at
police
all.
got a liability, meaning that they ain't responsible. That so if the police pop somebody,
They
the
got
police
qualified immunity, not
yeah,
not a liability. It's called qualified
yeah,
immunity.
that's what's called. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
gotta remember, the police is literally a policing force of a foreign agency that's occupying our land.
Right. Exactly.
It's the same way you put UN troops on the ground. They just
Right.
don't call them UN police. Same shit.
Yep. Same fucking shit.
They charter go back to London, England. They police handbook go back to London, England. They instructional manual come from London, England. If London, England is dictating how they supposed to be operating, and that's who own them. They got their charter, that's who own them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't work for us. All that serve the community and serve and protect bullshit. That's not why they here.
You're right.
They here to break a nigga neck,
They beat right
put
in
him
the
in the chokehold, shoot him in the back.
that shoot him in the back, then throw him in the river. Hey, look, you heard about that? I'm glad you said something about that, Ron. They just found a grave site in Mississippi where they found about 300 black brothers buried in unmarked grave sites. And most of these brothers was either killed in the jail down there or shot in the back by the police in that particular town. And what caused them to find them?
Yeah, that's over a year old.
Okay, that's a year old. Okay, you seen that,
It's
right?
over a year old.
Okay. You know, so you got anything on that? Like how
No,
does that happen, man? Like in Mississippi, man.
listen, when you don't have your people checking on you when you locked up, you might not make it.
That's why I say check on your people, man.
Yeah, check on your people. If you got people
Oh,
locked up, you save their life by letting the system know you care about your people.
Go ahead. Say it
And
again.
sometimes they can't even get out because they had no visit. They did a 5-year bid, didn't get no visits. He might have to do 5 more years for not having no family involvement.
Damn. That's
They
deep.
call it flopping them. They'll flop them,
Yeah.
right? And then they'll tell him some lame ass excuse like we don't think you psychologically prepared for the streets or some bullshit.
Yeah, I seen that happen too, Raw. They just instead of letting, like they say, they only got 4 years left, and they can they supposed to get out for parole. They'll say, "Oh no, well, you know," and deny
Come
them.
back and see us in 4 years, motherfucker.
And then they have been had them tied up into something else by that time. If it ain't, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, they the last brother that they buried there is what got him busted. He got hit by the police, ran him over, and then buried him out there. And his mother went to go
I
look for
only
him.
got one question.
Yeah.
Do you think that shit new?
No, that's been going Mississippi now. You talking about Mississippi? You talking about Mississippi, man? I'm talking about they been
Anywhere in this
in
country
Texas
since
too.
everywhere since 1492, that is not uncommon across the land.
Okay.
They've been killing us, burying us,
Yeah,
making us disappear.
Rosewood. You know, we can call a couple springs out. Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah. The only thing they ain't doing now is burning down whole cities like they used to.
Damn, boy, that's a cold piece. I want to do the feds come in? Who come in to do something about that?
You
Like do the
guys remember
town?
the feds ain't even 100 years old. They just not about to turn 100.
Yeah, that's right. What 1920 something? Yeah,
right.
Real 1906. They turned the 1906 is when they started. They turned into the feds like in the 20s when J.F. Hoover took over. 21, 22. Yeah, it's almost about right at 100 years.
Hey, my boy KC sent me something he wanted me to make mention of. This it was the what you call that? Cherokee had an agreement. Remember I told you Noble Drew Ali used to be able to go into the courtroom or send a grand sheet and they go in there and get you out.
Right.
This is because it was a treaty.
Okay.
Let me find it. that was after a rebellion
Okay.
in 1866. Actually, this is remember the war 1812, right?
Right.
Then they had to renegotiate. They renegotiating treaties. This one don't get settled to 1866.
Okay.
By the time it's settled, the Cherokee Confederacy, or the Cherokee Alliance, I should say, had seized a whole bunch of holdings of the corporation as tribal assets.
I'll go ahead.
So they gave them a treaty that said that if the U.S. corporation was to catch a Cherokee, they can't hold them for criminal charges. They have to release them to the Cherokee Nation. Okay, now, do you remember what tribe Noble Drew Ali was the high chief of?
Cherokees.
So when he's exercising treaty rights, he was able to send those grand sheiks that was in good standing to go into the courtroom because you had nothing to do with the debt that they had incurred settling over here on our territory.
Right.
So when whoever it was went behind Noble Drew Ali back, signed some kind of contract with the corporation to do their work inside of the Moorish Science Temple.
Man, it could have been Kirkland. Look, hey man,
Look, we don't confuse nobody. The records is there.
Yeah, it's there.
They have the records. So don't say C. Kirkman Bay. Don't say Mealy Yield. Right. Don't say what was the other guy named? Givensville.
Lomax. We know
Lomax Bay. Look, the reason why I'm saying that because a lot of the Moors have taken alliances and chose sides with these different people.
Right.
And none of them might not be the guilty party. But whoever the guilty party is their signature is whose signature is giving them permission to call a Moorish American a U.S. citizen. Noble Drew Ali wouldn't have never did it because he understood the treaties.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I said when I heard them the Moors Canaanite guys talking about, oh yeah, well we U.S. citizens. I say, man, that sound like totally against what Noble Drew Ali. They saying that Noble Drew Ali taught this. I'm saying, man, it don't line up. That don't line up.
You know what Noble Drew Ali said about these people? He said, don't be flashing your nationality card in their face. Right. Don't be running up on them trying to belittle them. You stay out their business. You keep your wrongdoing out the eyesight of the public, and you let them go about their business, and you stay out their way.
Right.
Sometimes they have to interact in different forms of day-to-day life. And in that case, if something happened that resulted in a criminal charge, a grand sheik's supposed to be able to come in and get you out. It's been usurped. Right. So now the grand sheik going in there to get you out, his ass might get arrested too.
Yeah. And it's all intimidation, and we don't give a damn. We criminals anyway, so we ain't gotta listen to you. We criminals. This is criminal. We commit crimes here, really, technically. So what you saying? We know you talking law, but we criminals. We don't give a damn. A criminal don't give a damn about you talking no law. They gonna lock your behind up anyway.
The only reason why they give us the title of criminal is because all crime is commercial.
That's right.
And as a commercial enterprise, you have to identify the person that you are charging with a crime.
Right.
So you can get paid. So these rituals is the lodges talking to each other. They're using the artist as the puppet.
Right.
And because his mentality make him write his art in such a unique form, then they manipulate him by giving him the halftime show.
Right.
So now they got his energy, and it's tied to the energy of everybody watching and everybody that's going to try to figure out in the aftermath. Only thing I cared about is Uncle Sam left stage left. Exit stage left. He ain't coming back.
Yeah, and they had Samuel Jackson, who was the same dude that played the dude in Django Unchained when he came to the house. He said, "Oh, you got that end on a nag or whatever." So
That wasn't no accident.
Go ahead.
The same way I've been telling you they were sweetheart swindling the big mamas in order to marry into the family, and then they was telling us it was war going on. So if we leave, somebody might capture us and put us in slavery because of the war. This where your slave narrative was born at.
Right.
Just the labor pains of it. So when you see the character in Django, Samuel L. Jackson, he's the one who hired the paleface to pretend to be the boss of the plantation,
Right.
Mr. Jones' plantation.
Yeah.
And it was his job to try to keep the family that was out in the field from coming up to see what's going on in Big Mama house, because this ain't how she left it.
Yeah, you had ran it down to me before about how Samuel Jackson really was the real owner, and they had hired him as a front man to make it like, they ain't the one doing it. This guy doing it, Another part that was interesting about that halftime, if one of the guys, I don't know if he was part of the show or not, but he was dressed like the people that was the dancers. He held up a Sudanese flag, if I'm not mistaken, and then the cops chased him off the field and tackled him. So I wonder, you see any connections with Sudan flag? And it could be
in Gaza. He was talking about the struggle in Gaza.
Okay.
He was talking about the Palestinian plight in Gaza.
Okay.
All I can tell you, if they tell the Palestinians to clear Gaza out, when they come back, it's going to be rubble. So let Donald J. Trump tell them to go on and leave. If Donald Trump tell the Palestinians to leave, when they get enough of them out of there where they can minimize the collateral damage, they leveling that bitch.
Okay. Hey, this is my next question I got for you. Now, with the black hand, because we got a lot of newcomers, everybody's starting to become, this black hand thing is really out there now. Like, people starting to know. Now, this is my question with the secret societies and the black hands. Now, do the black hands have their, I heard of this group called the Pilgrim Group, and I figured out they was connected to the Black Hand, the Pilgrim Society, and the Jason Society, all these different.
Okay, so those what you hearing about when you hear about the Pilgrim Society?
Yeah.
This was creating a fraternal brotherhood, which under common law is a tribe.
Okay.
But under admiralty law, it's a 501c3 something else fraternal order brotherhood. Right? And the purpose is to be able to function as a tribe while you live intermingle with other people. And your tribe was supposed to be in your organization. They begin to use some of the regalias when you talk about the Black Hand from the brotherhoods that came over here already established. When you look at your Confederate soldiers and your Union soldiers and you're looking at their uniforms, those are not tribal war dress. Neither the North nor the South. When you see us wearing skins of animals, right? That's war dress. When you see us dressing in solid colors, that's war dress. Because in peacetime, we like colorful shit, all different types of patches and, shout out to the Apache. Fort Apache, the Bronx. Rocking in this mofo off of Wu-Tang Clan in the 36 chambers. Elevate your mind, free your soul like In Vogue. Man, cold flipping, knocking and clapping back to the knockback on the zigzag flip to sew this bitch up. So what you talking about, Elder?
Hey, so last year we know that we did this. There was a Super Bowl ritual, and the Chiefs beat the 49ers. And we know the 49ers was connected to the gold rush, where they, pretty much genocide people in California. But now we go to the Eagles versus the Chiefs, and the Eagles get beat down pretty much. I saw some lady in the crowd with a voodoo doll of Patrick Mahomes.
She was stabbing the shit out of it.
Yeah, you saw that. I was like, "What the heck? People going crazy, man. This is too far now." Hey, so what is significant about that in alchemy? Dealing that we know that all of this is kind of like some kind of ritualistic thing. What is the dealing with the Eagles, which some people say represents United States courts, or it could represent the original people?
The eagle don't represent the corporation.
I'll say that. Go ahead.
The eagle represents the republic, not the corporation. The corporation never recognized what we call zoo type, like national bird. That was the republic. The difference in the corporation and the republic is the corporation been pretending to be the government, but they not. The republic was supposed to be the interim government over the 13 original colonies that was given permission. Everybody that wasn't part of those 13 colonies didn't have a representative on the tribal councils across the land. But if they was tied to one of those 13 colonies, they know that the Queen Mother gave them passage or refuge from the tyranny of Europe. So the 13 colonies represents the 13 subgroups of people that came over here. All of them were still being controlled from the Crown of England. So the corporation is administering salvage rights of the Crown, right? As the corporation that administers salvage rights of the Crown, all of the agents of the corporation